In this video, we have the new Agent Harbor's abilities revealed. Finally, we have a first look at the new Agent Harbor. What's going on, ProGuides family? It's your host Sergeant Frost, bringing you guys a news update on the new Agent 20, Harbor. Today, we'll be taking a first look at his new abilities and talking about what we think of his kit. But before we jump into this agent breakdown, it's a good time to let you know that there's also other ways to improve your game, such as Valorant Stats Center, AimLab's newest top-tier tracker that gives you access to data and metrics that only pro players had in the past. Not only that, Stats Center even has revolutionary data that tracks your impact called Delta Damage. So if you want to have all the information you'll ever need to master the game, make sure to click the link in the description and download Valorant Stats Center by AimLab today. Let's start off this video by looking at Harbor's signature ability, High Tide. The official game description is, to equip a wall of water, fire to send the water forward along the ground, hold fire to guide the water in the direction of your crosshair passing through the world, spawning a wall along the water's path. Use alternate fire while bending to stop the water early. Players hit by the wall are slowed as well. This ability is going to be the bread and butter of Harbor's kit in terms of his smoking capabilities. At first glance, it appears that High Tide functions similarly to Viper's Poison Wall, but there's a twist, literally. Harbor, unlike Viper, is able to control and bend his High Tide wall with his cursor. And an even better bonus on top of that is if you hit a player with the wall, they get slowed too. Already after examining the footage of this ability and reading its details, this ability seems much more versatile and potentially more powerful than Viper's wall. A slow being tied to the wall is nothing to underestimate too, as it could completely throw off a player's movement and aim as a result. If you remembered Cypher's cages during the beta, one part of what made them so strong was that the cages would slow enemies that pushed through them. In this case, this mechanic is more or less brought back through Harbor. But at the same time, High Tide looks like it will have a high skill ceiling, because learning the different meta ways to bend and curve the wall for sight ticks can be hard to do exactly. For a controller player, misplacing a smoke or a wall could totally cost your teammates lives, so it will be very important for prospective Harbor players to master his wall's mechanics. Next up, we have Harbor's Q ability, Cove. The official game description is equip a spear of shielding water, fire to throw, and alt fire to underhand throw the ability. Upon impacting the ground, spawn a water shield that blocks bullets. This ability seems pretty simple yet strong. Harbor can throw an orb that turns into a spear that acts like an astral wall for blocking bullets. Right now, at the time, we know bullets are blocked by Cove, but we do not currently know what else is blocked by the ability. In this in-game teaser footage, we can see that a Sova dart was able to make it through. So this raises the question of what utility will and won't go through the wall. Outside of its bullet blocking capabilities, Cove also looks like a smoke in design, so it does block vision from the outside in and vice versa. It looks like this is the perfect tool to throw down if you want to plant safely, or if you want to be sneaky, you can underhand throw it on a bomb on defense and try to defuse before the attackers can run through and kill you. Keep in mind that because bullets are blocked, you're completely safe from spam. So you could even use this ability in choke points as a lurk smoke for your teammates to safely walk through before they run into a site. Having an ability that looks like a smoke that blocks bullets could be game-saving if used correctly. This ability has a lot of practical uses that should be able to keep you and your teammates safe. It'll be fun to see how this ability gets used when Harbor drops soon. Harbor's C ability is called Cascade. The official game description is equip a wave of water, fire to send the wave rolling through the walls, reuse to stop the wave from moving further. Players hit by the wall are slowed too. Cascade, like Cove, is another shield blocking ability in Harbor's kit, except instead of being designed in a sphere like Cove, Cascade forms a tall wall that can be pushed forward to block bullets, kind of like High Tide. Looking at the footage of this ability, it looks like Cascade is a giant shield that Harbor can control by pushing forward or leaving it in place. This ability has a lot of playmaking potential. Imagine the angles you can create that you can peek from with a rifle or a sniper. You can even use this wall to create aggressive peeks on attack or defense, where you or a teammate pushes up to a risky position while maneuvering the wall and you can swing from behind it and land a cheeky kill. This ability might seem simple on a surface level at the moment, but I guarantee that after a few months of Harbor being out and Harbor mains figuring out how to position the wall, this ability will truly become a force to be reckoned with. A tall, mobile, vision-blocking shield wall is a tool that can be used offensively or defensively, simply through how it's positioned, and good players will learn how to find new spots where they can take full advantage of the wall. Harbor's ultimate ability is called Reckoning. The official ability description is equip the full power of your artifact. Fire to summon a geyser pool on the ground. Enemy players in the area are targeted by successive geyser strikes. Players caught within a strike are concussed. After looking at the footage of Reckoning, it looks like this ultimate is a giant suppressive CC tool that Harbor can use almost like an artillery strike in order to remotely hit players and concuss them for a decent duration. From the footage, it looks like the player who gets hit by this ability has a little trail that gets marked above their heads that signals Harbor's location to them, and that they are currently concussed too. This ability not only has great CC capabilities with mass stuns, but it also looks to be a recon ability that marks and displays enemies hit for a short duration too. This ability's dual purpose can prove to be greatly useful for sniffing out players on attack, and it can be great for finding positions of attackers on a retake when you're on defense too. Reckoning is shaping up to be a useful team-friendly ultimate that when used at the right time could guarantee a round or at least a site take. Right now, it seems like Harbor is going to be a very versatile smoke agent. His kit seems to revolve heavily around vision blocking with his wall and damage nullification with his wall shield and Cove shield. We don't officially have gameplay footage or stats on him since he hasn't been released yet, but it's safe to say Harbor's kit is shaping him up to be a big player in the meta already. A defensive-minded agent that can block vision and create shields for him and his team to safely dodge gunfire and push up around the map to take space safely, Harbor's kit looks like it's going to allow him to be a big player in the meta from day one. A lot of people might point out that he doesn't have any damage-dealing abilities in his kit, and the only CC is really on his ultimate and the slow on his wall. But let's remember for a second that he is a controller. His role on a team is to block vision, take space around the map, protect his teammates, and most likely carry the spike around safely. His kit isn't calling for him to fill a duelist role where he needs high frag counts for him to be successful. Harbor is going to be behind his teammates manipulating his walls and using his Cove to plant and defuse the spike safely. Not to mention his ultimate can be a game changer on site takes or site retakes. Another thing to mention coming off of our last point is that Harbor looks like he has the potential to be a great agent on offense and defense, depending on how he deploys and uses the abilities in his kit. Harbor comes out really soon next week when the new act starts, so it won't be long before we finally get our hands on him, and then we can actually see how he performs in game. Well guys, that's all we have for Harbor's abilities revealed. Make sure to check our website ProGuides.com for the very best on-demand coaching. And if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe. This has been your host Sergeant Frost, and good luck on the grind in Act 3.